Our city is built for that stuff, and now we're getting the granddaddy of football events.
The big prize, the Super Bowl, coming to Allegiant Stadium.
How can you have talent all over the field, offensively and defensively, yet still struggle? How could you not win more than 6 games with the NFL's leading rusher and the NFL's leader in receiving yards? How? But also, how could you not believe that the Raiders will turn this around? And if you stick around for this video, I'll show you how. The Raiders kind of had a Kobe and Shaq thing going on this season, as Davante Adams finished this season with the league-leading 14 touchdowns, while Josh Jacobs just casually led the NFL in rushing yards, scrimmage yards, and yards per game. A play like this is the true definition of pick your poison. It was 2nd and 4 when the Raiders ran this trick play, so that'll explain the linebacker shooting right down the field of gaps. But it also lets you know how teams feel about Josh Jacobs. And just as the entire defense shifts to the right, he throws his ball back to Derek Carr, who's then able to hit Davante Adams for a huge gain on a flawlessly executed trick play. But make no mistake about it, with or without Josh Jacobs, with or without Aaron Rodgers, and with or without Derek Carr, you still get the same old Davante Adams. Davante Adams was named to his 3rd straight first-team All-Pro this season, as he wrapped up his 2022 with 100 receptions, which was 43 more than the next receiver on his team, 1,516 yards, which was 3rd in the NFL, and a league-leading 14 touchdowns. But the numbers only explain half of his production, and what's just as impressive is the gauntlet of great corners he faced this season. But as we all know, the beauty of Davante Adams' game is his route running. And here, lined up in man coverage against Asante Samuel Jr., he gives the rookie a lesson. Davante wins this route because of the way he sold this dig route. But it's not only the plant inside that gets Asante, it's the extra steps after that with Davante's body weight leaning inside. And once Asante committed, he snapped back outside, leaving Asante playing zone defense instead of man. And here the Chiefs decide to pack the box on 4th and 1, which leaves Davante one-on-one on the outside. And it appears that he just beats this corner and he created all this separation, but really it was one little detail that did it all. Here at the top of this break, you can see Davante Adams' head is pointed outward, which could mean he's breaking outside. And the DB was fooled by the exact same thing, and you can tell by his angle when he was trying to play catch up. And he also had 9 touchdowns that came on plays that were 30+ yards or longer, which was the most in the NFL since 2006. Davante also wasted no time rewriting history for his new franchise, as he shattered the single season receiving yards record. And out of all the catches he made this season, this one could very well be my favorite. I mean, look at that. The guy was historical in every sense of the word this season. In the running lanes he was able to create for this man can't go unnoticed either. But honestly, when you can see rushing lanes like this guy, you don't need much help. Josh Jacobs is such a dangerous back because of his ability to run between the tackles with force, as well as running outside with finesse. But if you leave it up to Josh Jacobs, he'll choose force every time. Just ask Justin Reed. And much like Davante Adams, he doesn't get the credit he deserves for having such a monstrous season. Jacobs finished this season with 340 carries for 1,653 yards, which led the NFL, as well as leading the NFL in yards per game with 97, and adding 12 touchdowns to that total, which is tied for 5th in the NFL. And no other Raider had a rushing touchdown this season. Josh Jacobs is simply one of the NFL's best running backs, and plays like this really do all the talking for me, but I'll still explain why it's special. The first reason as to why it's special is because every running lane is literally closed. His initial hole, closed. His cutback lane, closed. The outside, closed. But on the other hand, his quick breaks are another reason why this run is impressive, and ultimately is the reason why he broke free. The quick cut to break from his initial hole, then the jump cut to bounce it to the outside. But the spin move fresh out of a juke is crazy. And if you don't believe me, look at the pile of Broncos who are wondering how this man is still running. Josh Jacobs is like wine. As the game continues and he gets more and more carries, he just continues to get better. And a better example of that would be Josh Jacobs leading the NFL in first downs with 94. No other player even reached 70. He also totaled 2,000 yards from scrimmage with 12 touchdowns, and he had the best receiving season of his career with 53 receptions for 400 yards. There's no question that he was the best running back in the NFL this season. The numbers say it, the film says it, and the NFL said it, as Josh Jacobs earned first team All-Pro honors along with Davante Adams this season. And even with all that firepower, there's still one question left that needs to be answered. Jimmy G will be the Raiders' new quarterback, and there are a lot of questions about that move. But with all the talent I just covered, it's hard to not have faith. And while Jimmy G won't knock your socks off with stats or ridiculously incredible throws, one thing the man does do is win. Over the course of his 6 seasons with the 49ers, he led the team to 3 NFC championships and a Super Bowl. And he's one of 7 quarterbacks in NFL history to have a 70% win percentage. This season, he went 8-3 as a starter after taking over for Trey Lance, finishing the season with a 67% completion percentage for 2,437 yards and 16 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. But there are things he did successfully in San Francisco that the Raiders could implement to make his life easier. And the main key is just keeping things simple. The Broncos drop back into cover 2 here, and the slight pump fake causes the corner to bail, which simultaneously opens up the underneath route to Deebo Samuel. You see, quick, easy, efficient reads. And Jimmy's a very reliable quarterback, so don't think I'm saying he's not. But making the game easier and getting the ball out of his hands faster suits Jimmy G best. Here again, the Broncos line up in cover 1, and the 49ers essentially end up clearing out the whole left side for Deebo Samuel. And when I watch this play, I firmly believe this is a play that Josh Jacobs could make one-on-one with the linebacker, so I see Jimmy G messing just fine over in Vegas. But every once in a while, Jimmy G will serve up a mean dime on a platter to his receivers, just as he does here. The thing I love about this throw is the toughness Jimmy G showed, knowing that he was going to take a hit, but still delivering a catchable ball downfield. And the stars are finally starting to align for the Raiders. But what will they do with all this talent? Will they finally get it together and maximize their potential? Or will this be another dreadful season for Raiders fans? And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check this video out as well, which is all about another sleeper team in the AFC. Peace.